Hello everyone, you're now with me, Ruben Gomez for TVs Nightline. Now, let's begin. Sarawak will focus its development in three key areas, namely food, security, environment and healthcare. Chief Minister Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said Sarawak has a vast potential to be a global food producer.
He said that the three key areas are interrelated and transformative, and he is confident that Sarawak can be part of that transformation.
They need quality food. That is agriculture. Today, people are talking about environment, sustainable environment. That is what happened in Glasgow. You need to control and mitigate carbon emission. It's in terms of how you innovate to produce trees and leaves to produce oxygen. And this can be done through simulation. With the right humidity, the right climate, and healthcare. Healthcare. Sebabnya saya wujudkan our infectious disease center as part of our research, kerana kita banyak biodiversity and healthcare tu, surgery can be done through internet as long as you have the technology. So these three areas will transform the world. I think Sarawak can be part of that transformation.
Earlier, Abang Johari was officiating the Tabung Ekonomi Gagasan Anak Sarawak or TVS Digital Village on Monday. He calls upon Sarawakians to be more creative and innovative in coming up with innovations in positioning Sarawak on the world map. On the state part, Abang Johari said the state policy is for the old and the young to work closely together to bring about transformational change to Sarawak through digital transformation. The TVS Digital Village serve as a facility to provide a conducive environment to enable Sarawakians to establish new systems and networking to spur the development of digital economy.
Sarawak not only dodged allegations of inevitable bankruptcy due to the pandemic, but have also strengthened its financial outlook. Chief Minister Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg expressed this after certain parties stated that Sarawak will go bankrupt for allocating 10 million ringgit in its state budget for the past 3 years.
Kita financially strong, is now we are financially strong. Ya, saya takut terlepas tu dengan mati pembakar, mati. Not for myself, it's for the country. Saya takut wang luar. Wang luar. Di mana kita bankrupt, mengingat tak pakai? 3 tahun Bang Jo malam bajet apa 10 million bankrupt 3 tahun. Lebih 3 tahun. Untuk tahun keempat saya ada bankrupt. Tambah dia ada. So they are jealous. They may want to split us so that we are not strong. Mungkin orang jealous Sarawak kuat gila. Don't worry, as long as you are there, you are creating Sarawak, will always be strong.
For context, during the past Democratic Act Party DAP dinner, its Secretary General Lim Guan Eng said the Sarawak state government will exhaust its budget of 30 billion ringgit from 2017 to 2020 if the Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS were to maintain an annual expenditure worth 11 billion ringgit.
Jadi inilah masa depan kita, saya yakin dengan environment kita kondusif ke tu. The young, the old, kita kerjasama and we push Sarawak forward. Tapi kita mesti tegas. Don't give way. You must be tegas. Macam nama tegas juga. Kita kena tu susah. Kita mesti tegas untuk masa depan masyarakat kita.
Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS focus on placing young candidates to compete for the upcoming 12th state election. Its party's chairman, Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg hinted this to uplift the youth prospect for the party's leadership.
Sebabnya lah Tafa terpaksa ambil wang budak seorang buat dalam pilihan raya tu. daripada sidak GPS. Kita nengkap orang muda juga, seorang juga. Kerana kita nak melihat pimpinan yang visionary dan melihat masa depan.
Abang Johari says the party had a policy that encompassed the younger and older generation to be involved in the state development.
For the old, mendapat setidaknya transform diri kampung, but they got experience. Orang muda, spend lah time-nya for new thing because you know what is needed in a new era.
Last Friday, GPS Secretary General Datuk Seri Alexander Nantalinggi said Parti Pusaka Bumi Putera Bersatu PBB will feature 10 to 20% new candidates to contest for the upcoming state election. Nanta said this is in line with the effort to re-strategize and bring renewal of the party.
Now, the long-forgotten Kuching landmark, the Sato Suspension Bridge, was given a major facelift and has reclaimed its title as an iconic symbol of Kuching City. Not only that it reflects the city's advancements, but also holds a crucial historical value important to the city.
Saya dan rakan-rakan melihat bahawa jambatan itu mempunyai sejarah yang banyak dan telah menyaksikan pembangunan yang berlaku di Bandaraya Kuching. Hingga Putrajaya dibuka macam ini tu. Dan kawasan pembangunan yang begitu meluaskan. Memandang kepada keadaan sedemikian untuk generasi akan datang supaya tahu sejarah bagaimana Bandaraya Kuching membangun menjadi bandaraya. Maka kita buat keputusan untuk membina semula jambatan Sato itu.
Abang Johari, who officiated the launching ceremony of the bridge last night, said with the new bridge, Sarawak tourism will be boosted greatly whilst providing nostalgic moments for many locals. For records, Kuching received the accolade of being included and proclaimed as United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO Creative City in Gastronomy earlier this month.
Inilah apa yang kita perolehi pengiktirafan dunia kepada Bandaraya Kuching. Jadi kita jagalah Bandaraya kita tu. Bandaraya kita bersih, perpaduan kita akrab, kerjasama kita rapat dan menjadi contoh kepada dunia. Dan marilah kita sama menjagakan Bandaraya kita melalui kerjaan yang stable, kerjaan yang prihatin, dan seterusnya insya-Allah Kuching akan terus membangun.
The Satok Suspension Bridge was built with a cost of 8.05 million ringgit and was overlooked by Sarawak's Works Department JKR, where its construction began on September 19, 2017 and was expected to complete by the same month in 2019. And the said year, JKR detected problem on the Kubaharia side of the main pillar, which prompted several works to fix the problem. It took more than a year to redesign and reconstruct the bridge's structure before it is safe to be used for the public.
Now, since the completion of the Sato Suspension Bridge, it has benefited the locals economically, especially those trading in the nearby areas. The iconic bridge provided access to pedestrians in Sato to Medan Niaga Sato area and have indirectly contributed to the economic recovery since the COVID-19 pandemic hit.
Ya, semenjak jambatan ini beroperasi, walaupun dia belum hari ini adalah hari bersejarahnya peresmian ini memberi impak yang amat baik kepada kami sebagai peniaga. Disebabkan ramai pengunjung, membolehkan lagi perniagaan kami seperti biasa.
Alhamdulillah lah, dengan adanya jembatan tu ada pengetahuan naik sikit perniagaan kita lah. Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih kerajaan GPS.
Betul. Dengan jambatan ini memang tiap-tiap malam ramai orang. So, untung untuk pelanggan-pelanggan dan penjual di sini lah yang dapat menikmati suasana macam ni. Jalan pun jam.
Issues on native customary right, NCR land and income generation socio-economic program remained as Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS struggles if the coalition is given the people's mandate to govern once more. Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Amar Douglas Ugamas said this will generate income growth, especially for rural folks.
He said surveys under Section 6 would enable the NCR lands to be gazetted and subsequently be issued with land titles under Section 18 of the State Land Code. Since 2010, the state government has surveyed over 1,011,566 hectares of such land under the NCR Land Initiative, while 780,203 hectares of land had been gazetted by the Land and Survey Department. Additionally, the Minister of Agriculture, Modernization, Native Land and Regional Development said the socio-economic programs would be focusing on modern agriculture to enable farmers to produce the quantity and quality for export. Ugas said under the Agriculture Community Outreach Program, AgriCoop, modern concept of fruit and vegetable farming such as fertigation and hydroponic are being introduced to farmers. Earlier, Uga was officiating the AgriCoop at Rumah Jimmy Ngelambai in Ulubayor on Sunday.
Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Amar Douglas Ugamas opined that strict standard operating procedures SOPs may be introduced by the Election Commission EC and Ministry of Health MOH for the upcoming 12th state election. He said the measures may include a ban on campaigning in longhouses as well as a ban on entertainment programs.
The former Sarawak Disaster Management Committee SDMC chairman said that the strict measures serve to protect the people from COVID-19 infection. As such, there will be no huge gatherings at campaign and longhouses and no entertainment program. Similar to Malacca state elections, such practice was put in place whereby no huge crowd of supporters are allowed to accompany their respective candidates to the nomination centres. On a related matter, Uga regarded the Barisan Nasional landslide victory in Malacca, indicating the people wanted a strong and stable government to govern. He noted that only a strong and stable government can implement policies and programs to bring in more development and progress. Uga also said the victory indicated the people in Malacca was rejecting opportunist politicians who cared more for positions rather than giving good service. Thus, he calls upon Sarawakian voters who want to see continued development to continue supporting Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS in the upcoming polls.
Now, Betong Member of Parliament Dato' Robert Lawson Chuat has called on voters in Bukit Saban to continue supporting its incumbent Dato' Amar Douglas Ugamas if he is renominated to defend the seat in the coming state election. A long-time comrade of Uga, Chuat described him as an exceptionally hard-working representative.
Chuat said in addition to being approachable, Uga regularly visit the constituency to check on the people's welfare and well-being. The constituents of Bukit Saban in Betong Division as a whole are very lucky to have such a figure like Uga, having served both ministerial posts in federal and state level. Chuat added it was not the time yet for the voters to give up on Uga, adding that SPAO has undergone rapid transformation with more facilities and amenities being implemented. Lawson also said Uga, who was the former Sarawak Disaster Management Committee chairman, has done a lot in coming up with strategies and plans to save the state in battling COVID-19 pandemic. He noted that under Uga, Sarawak was the first state to aggressively implement the COVID-19 vaccination program. He regarded the Barisan Nasional win at the just concluded Malacca state elections signified that voters had placed political stability on a high premium.
Setiap pilihan dilakukan dengan penuh teliti. Setiap tindakan membantu pembinaan ekonomi. Menggalas tanggungjawab bersama kita memajukan industri tempatan dan membawa sinar kepada mereka yang memerlukan. Barang baik, barang kita.
Hai, saya Nak Zainal. Menjadi seorang ibu sangat memerlukan kesabaran dan tenaga. Semua perlu disediakan untuk anak-anak agar hari mereka sempurna. Tak perlu lagi risau tentang kualiti. Semestinya barangan Malaysia lebih selamat, lebih terjamin. Saya tetap dengan barangan Malaysia.
Kita mesti tahu ilmu-ilmu dalam rumah tangga lah. Macam mana nak treat your isteri, what do and don'ts. Ilmu agama yang paling penting lah. Sebab benda-benda macam tu tanpa ilmu agama mungkin kita akan tersesat jauh.
Tak tak, memang boleh jadi seorang pemimpin keluarga yang baguslah bagi kami.
Saksikan Merami Cinta hanya di TVS, saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
What I love about Suits is the way it makes me feel when I'm wearing it. If it doesn't make you feel like $1 million, it's not the right suit for you.
We want to be able to connect our guests who come here to have a feeling of connection between the food that we're serving, the food that we've created, with a memory that you had.
I like how the sun comes in because the French-inspired windows that my parents actually had made specially for this house. It makes you feel connected with nature because of all the greenery outside. The way the house was built, you wouldn't feel as if you are separated, that you're always with someone.
Remarkable Living setiap Sabtu 6.30 petang hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
It's really special.
Welcome back. Feedback on the effectiveness of the Standard Operating Procedures (SOP) said during the recent Melaka state election will be taken into account for the upcoming polls in Sarawak. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Parliament and Law, Dato' Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jafar said the matter is being drawn up by the Election Commission (EC) with the Ministry of Health.
In addition, Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee (SDMC), the National Security Council and the police are also involved in the drafting of the SOPs. Wan Junaidi added that the SOP would be announced when it is finalized. Meanwhile, Wan Junaidi said the EC and the National Registration Department (NRD) would be digitally synced in terms of deleting the names of deceased voters from the electoral roll, adding that the EC does not have the power to remove the names of individuals who have been listed in the electoral roll.
A better deal for Sabah and Sarawak is being discussed with the government through the Joint Consultative Committee (JCC) on special grants under Article 112D of the Federal Constitution. According to Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Sabah and Sarawak Affairs, Dato' Sri Dr. Maximus Ongkili, the JCC is expected to meet soon to discuss the issue further.
The JCC meeting is to be chaired by Finance Minister Tengku Dato' Sri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz. He said the review of financial and annual grants under Article 112D of the Federal Constitution, as well as refund of the 40% income and revenues derived from Sabah and Sarawak, were addressed during the Pakatan Harapan administration. However, both state governments rejected the offer as the Pakatan formula did not explain how it came up with the amount. Ongkili said this in a statement after the Parliament sitting on Monday.
Malaysia is still not out of the woods in its COVID-19 battle. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin reminded the public to continue adhering to the SOP set by the authorities. He said Malaysia is still facing challenges despite the COVID-19 situation improving, with daily cases showing a downtrend.
Malaysia's new COVID-19 cases dipped below 5,000 on Sunday, and on Monday, 4,885 new cases were recorded. Khairi reminded those who have already received their appointments for a booster dose to go for it, especially those above 40 years old and individuals with comorbidity. He further says whatever that is offered by the government, take it. Khairi said the booster shot will not only help in terms of ensuring better coverage, but also help bringing down the transmission risk.
Malaysia has reached 82.3% of adolescents COVID-19 vaccinated as of yesterday. This is equivalent to 2,589,925 teens.
Based on the data from the Ministry of Health MOH through the COVID Now website, 2,755,745 individuals, or 87.6% of the said population, have received at least one dose of the vaccine. As for the adult population, 95.6% or 22,390,580 individuals have completed their vaccination, while another 97.8% or 22,914,289 received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. A total of 36,028 vaccine doses were dispensed yesterday, with 2,244 as the first dose, 4,325 as the second dose, and 29,459 were booster doses. This brings the cumulative number of vaccine doses administered under the National COVID-19 Immunization Program (PICK) to 51,938,646.
Malaysia is of the view that ASEAN and China should work together in the fields of economy, transformation and infrastructure, as well as connectivity to ensure the supply chain that remains unimpeded and can continue to grow amid the post-COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the implementations of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership (RCEP) and the Comprehensive ASEAN-China Free Trade Agreement could also contribute to accelerating regional recovery and resilience.
In a statement delivered by Minister of Foreign Affairs Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah, the Prime Minister hopes that ASEAN and China can work together in the field of public health and pharmaceutical capabilities through the sharing of technology, expertise and intellectual property. Meanwhile, when asked about Malaysia's latest position on the Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, with China, Saifuddin said Malaysia still holds the same standpoint despite being under different government, adding that Malaysia as a whole has always been supportive of the initiative. Meanwhile, in a joint statement by the ASEAN-China Special Summit, it reaffirmed the commitment to the open, free, inclusive, transparent and non-discriminatory trading system with the World Trade Organization at its core, and its readiness to make economic globalization more open, inclusive, balanced and beneficial to all. It also welcomes the entry into force of the RCEP agreement on January 1st, 2022, and will work together to deliver benefits to businesses and people in the region. By creating more trade opportunities in digital economy and fostering new sources of growth for cooperation, working towards a more inclusive, modern, comprehensive and mutually beneficial ASEAN-China Free Trade Area.
Pilihan Raya Negeri ke-12 Sarawak, 82 kerusi Dewan Undangan Negeri Sarawak dipertandingkan. TVS membawakan data, analisis, berita dan informasi terkini tentang kesemua Dewan Undangan Negeri hanya dalam Sarawak Decides di TVS, saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Amalan menderma darah mampu memupuk nilai murni dan tanggungjawab dalam diri sendiri serta masyarakat. Dengan menderma darah, ia memberikan sinar kepada mereka yang memerlukan. Berikan sokongan anda. Jadilah penderma darah.
Jowa nyo, mga taksil, huwag nyo igaya si Julius. Mga inggit lang kayo kasi malaking tiwala namin sa isa't isa.
Nagsimula ang lahat nung nakipagkita siya sa akin para humingi ng tulong sa isang munting problema.
Setelah lebih 10 tahun berpisah, dua sahabat, Faith dan Julius, bertemu kembali. Dapatkah mereka mengekalkan persahabatan atau diuji dengan perasaan cinta? Saksikan To Love Somebody Sabtu ini jam 9 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Now we're back with Global Update. 5 people were killed and more than 40 injured after a car ran through a Christmas parade in Wisconsin on Sunday, knocking down dozens of people, including young children.
Police earlier told journalists that a person of interest was in custody and a vehicle had been recovered after the incident in the town of Waukesha in Wisconsin. It was not known whether the incident was related to terrorism, but there was no further danger and an earlier shelter-in-place order had been lifted. A video posted online showed a red SUV plowing through more than a dozen people at the parade. An officer fired shots at the vehicle in an attempt to stop it. Another video on social media appeared to show police firing on the vehicle as it crashed through street barriers. Police did not believe shots had been fired from the vehicle. The SUV was believed to hit a dance team of girls between 9 and 15 years old. Video on social media showed small groups surrounding injured girls with white pom-poms scattered around. In 2015, 4 people were killed and 46 injured in Stillwater, Oklahoma, when a woman drove into a crowd watching the homecoming parade for a football team.
FIFA held an official ceremony on Sunday to mark 1 year to go until the opening match of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The opening match will take place on November 21st, 2022 in the Al Bayt Stadium.
Kickoff will come as some relief to organizers as the football takes center stage, shifting the limelight away from issues such as the labor rights from migrant workers that have surrounded the event. Qatar hopes to attract 1.2 million visitors, roughly a third of its population, to the tournament. Given Qatar is the smallest country in size to host a World Cup, supporters can attend multiple games on the same day. According to the organizing Supreme Committee, 5 of the 8 stadiums purpose-built for the World Cup are complete. 2 more, the Ras Abu Aboud Stadium and Al Bayt, will be inaugurated during the Arab Cup, a dress rehearsal event which starts on November 30. All fans attending matches must be fully vaccinated against COVID-19, and they expect to be able to offer up to 130,000 rooms, which could leave thousands of fans without accommodation. Organizers have announced only partial details about how and where they plan to find those rooms, saying the total number would be announced in due course. For the unveiling of the official countdown clock, a series of special guests including former France player Marcel Desailly, Cameroon's Samuel Eto'o, and Brazil's Cafu attended the event together with FIFA President Gianni Infantino and various officials.
Annyeonghaseyo. South Korea has recently introduced a new health staple in the market in the form of white kimchi juice. Made from fermented cabbage and vegetables and sold in juice packets, the new product was launched at convenience stores across South Korea on November 18.
Park Yoon-kyung came up with the idea of making pocketable kimchi when she was abroad on overseas business trip and missed comfort food from home.
해외에 출장이 많았습니다. 그럼 이제 유럽이나 뭐 미주나 이런 쪽을 가면 제가 워낙 한국 음식을 좋아하는데 한국 음식이 그립잖아요. 그래서 이제 그때는 막 튜브 고추장이나 뭐 이런 거라도 들고 다니면서 이제 했는데 어떨 때 김치가 진짜 땡길 때가 있습니다. 시원하게 김치를 좀 먹고 싶은데 뭐 어디 가서 특별히 김치를 사 먹기도 그렇고 또 냄새가 나잖아요. 그래서 그때 머릿속에 막연히 그런 생각을 했었어요. 김치 좀 편하게 먹을 수 있는 방법이 없을까?
Instead of the popular style kimchi with red chili pepper and salted fish, Park chose white kimchi to reduce spiciness and smell, which is one of the oldest type of kimchi only made of vegetables and salt. The drinkable pouch kimchi went on sale across the chain of 7-Eleven convenience stores in South Korea.
김치 주스라고 하니까 맛도 아예 좀 가늠도 안 되고 너무 생소한 그런 느낌이었는데 직접 한번 먹어보니까 진짜로 집에서 엄마가 해준 그 동치미 맛? 너무 익숙하고 맛있고 딱 고기 먹고 입가심으로 먹으면은 굉장히 시원할 것 같은 그런 느낌이었어요.
The packages of newly released juice from lactic acid fermented cabbage were displayed in fridge next to simple breakfast menus such as milks, boiled eggs, and yogurts for customers looking for snacks. In 2020, South Korea has officially designated November 22 as Kimchi Day to inherit the culture of the traditional dish.
Well, that concludes TVS Nightline. I'm Ruben Gomez. Anytime, anywhere.